Greetings and happy day. It's Dr. Cherry, the CEO Whisperer, and I am delighted to be here with you today. I am going to talk about my shirt today, and it says, I'm fine. And if you really look at it, it's like, I'm fine, thumbs up, but that's all you can see. You can't see what's underneath. And I really think that in this moment in time, for a lot of people, when you're thinking about the unsinkable mind and calm and chaos, this is where a lot of people are. We're walking around with the thumbs up saying we're fine, with all of this on the top, but you can't really see what's happening underneath. And I think that it's really important for us to have these conversations so that we can kind of weigh. One of the things that I've learned with my 20 plus years of being an executive coach and an organizational psychologist, and actually I started psychology, whoosh, oh my God, a long time. So I am proud to say I did graduate from Spelman in 91 and I got my PhD in 97 from the University of Georgia. So that's a long time that I've been in this field studying human behavior. And when you start to really, really think about words, words in and of themselves don't have meaning. We give the words the meaning. But when we're walking around saying we're fine and this is all that you can see, there's definitely, something underneath it. I remember working with one of my executive coaching clients and um, asked her, how things were going. And this was one of those video calls, and she said, I'm fine. But nothing about her said that she was fine. And what was so powerful was, as a CEO whisperer, I wanted to make sure that she had a very safe space and knew that it was safe. So I said, okay, how are you really? And when I asked her how she was really, she paused and I got this deep exhale, like, and in that moment, in that very moment, I got to understand what fine really meant for her. And I think that so many of us are walking around with the same thing, saying we're fine, but she was tired. She was exhausted. And in so many spaces, when you say that, people will kind of reframe it for you. It's like, I don't know if I need you to reframe it. This is really how I feel. And what she was trying to do is keep it all together. And I think so many times that's what we're doing. We want to keep it all together. But I told her, you don't have to give that to me. You don't have to make it something that it isn't. And we aren't bad people because we have bad emotions. We are beautiful people with different types of emotions, and it's very important that we're able to recognize that. And so, what I want you to know is that sometimes I'm fine becomes a mask, and that's that mask that we wear everywhere that we go. You know, someone asks you, how are you? And the reality is, by the time they answer or you answer the question, they way down the way. And so they literally don't care. And so sometimes it's a great answer because you're saying I'm fine, because you know that they don't really care. It's just that automatic response from them. It's kind of like, that's the answer. You ask somebody how they're doing, fine, and you just keep it moving. So that's one of definitely the thing that we naturally normally do. And it is okay sometimes when you say I'm fine and you know that you're not, because you need a chance to breathe and you need a chance to figure out what's happening and what's going on for you. So that answer for you in that moment is the right answer for you. And it protects your privacy. It does protect you, and it allows you to, really decide, how do I want to process what's happening, for me in that moment. And it creates psychological safety. It can create emotional safety for you. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with saying, that you're fine, um, even when you're not. And the flip side of it is that when you're saying I'm fine to people who genuinely care, it can block your blessings. It can block your support because people don't know that you really need them. People don't understand what's going on. They can't send a life jacket or send a life preserver or send a raft. They can't send you anything if you're drowning and they don't know it. And when we're walking around with that idea, it literally, it kind of shuts the community out. And it also teaches your brain to hide how it really feels, and it doesn't allow you the chance to heal. And so if you're constantly saying that you're fine when you're not, then that is a challenge. And there is a flip side of it. It's like if you're always saying that you're not fine, even when you are, because my belief is we have 24 hours in the day. Yeah, you're like, duh, we know that. But out of the 24 hours in the day, there are minutes and there are moments and there are seconds that even when you're not all right, that there are things that are right that you can grab from that time. And so it is important for us to recognize that you may have a bad day, but most of us are not having a bad life. And so it's important to really, be honest with yourself, and not suppress when you're overwhelmed, but also when you're underwhelmed, give yourself a chance to feel what it feels to feel, something else. And what you don't want to do is turn your mask into a habit. And that is a habit of always having it on. I don't know about you, but in COVID, it was difficult for me, particularly because I have asthma, to breathe. And that mask, wearing a mask all day, it doesn't allow you the chance to breathe. And so we have to figure out for ourselves very safe spaces that will allow us the opportunity to be able to breathe, so that you can feel safe and be safe. And so what you want to do is to determine ways to get yourself out of the water. And there are two parts to it, because one, you got to trust yourself, trust and believe that you can get yourself out of it. But then two, you're going to have to create a community of people that can go in if necessary and, pull you out of that water. And so that when you really do say I'm fine, we know in the community that you are, because being fine is something that we all have the opportunity to be. And we've got to recognize and really, really remember that we're better together. So check on yourself, check on your peers. When they ask or say that they're fine, ask them, are you really? Are you really fine?